I'm a cheating woman. Simple as that. I was in a 4.5 year relationship with someone who I miss dearly, but it was due to my own actions that caused the breakup. After a lot of thinking about it, I'm not even certain that I loved him. Because if you love a person, you don't cheat, right? To clarify, we had been dating from my senior year of high school to my senior year of college. Over that time, I cheated on him 4 times. The first time, I considerably drunk at my and was extremely depressed about it. The second time, over a year later, I was caught, but he forgave me. The third time was when I was in another country for a period of time and we were on a break, but I still count it. The fourth time, as our relationship was coming to an end due to me moving away and us agreeing to be friends, I decided to go out on a date 2 weeks prior to my departure. Little to my knowledge, he found out about it by hacking my emails. I never went out on the date because he called me and cut all ties. That night, I was beyond all reason and neck high into a bottle of rum. So was one of my roommates who confessed his feelings for me there. I slept with him and regret it because I then turned around and had to tell him that it meant nothing. Now I'm in a new place. I've moved away to a new place with new people who don't know me. For those of you who have either downvoted this or are thoroughly disgusted with me, please know that I'm already disgusted with myself. I don't need you to tell me that. What I need is the thoughtful advice of people who are willing to help a girl who's desiring to change who she is so that she never does anything like that to someone again. And please just don't do it. If there are any of you out there that have ever cheated, you should understand that not cheating in the first place isn't that easy. Doing it again is the same thing. I'm not interested in going out and having fun either. I've never had a one-night stand. The first time I cheated was a makeout session, if that. It's really hard to write all of this out because it's requiring me to admit this to myself. Edit. I have cut all ties with him and, despite it being really difficult, haven't made an effort to contact him. Honestly, I've always known he could do better than me, and I didn't think he deserved me after the first time. I told him that too, with the full intention of breaking it off. I'm not giving any excuses or justifications to what I did, but I do want to change myself so that I'll never do it again. That being said, I'm trying to figure out what triggered me. It was a different situation each time, with entirely different circumstances. I made mistakes way more times than I should have. Maybe counseling would be good then. I've thought about polyamory, and I'm aware of its existence. But I've never been the kind of person who can go out and just have random sex with people. It's really not who I am. I think you're right about the idea that I need to try it, but I'm really trying to do as what someone else suggested and just be by myself for right now. Comments. You have to know what caused this behavior in order to stop it. And you're right, it's not as easy as just say no. This is going to require therapy, you know. And stay out of relationships until you have a handle on what triggered you to cheat, okay? We all make mistakes. What's important is that we acknowledge them, learn from them, and move on wiser than we were. As a guy who's been on the receiving end of this almost exact situation, stay the hell out of his life. You don't deserve him. I hope you learn to grow the F up, but you should do it without this guy. Also, when us guys take back a cheater, it isn't because we love you. It's because we're afraid we can't do any better. Getting cheated on destroys our self-confidence and makes us feel inadequate. You've done this poor guy enough damage. Story 2. I'm 29. My boyfriend and I have been a couple for 2 years. I genuinely and truly loved him very much in the beginning, but my feelings have slowly waned over the years. He is very insecure, needy, and controlling, and he constantly thinks I'm going to cheat on him. There have been a few instances in the past that I've done some shady things that he's found out about. For example, I accidentally sent him a text that was meant for a guy I work with that my boyfriend thought flirted with me at a party. He called me on it, I denied it, he forgave me. But I've always been able to get him to believe that it's nothing. I'm ashamed to say that I cheated on him once, only once. I was out of town on a business trip, and I know he would never know. We were having a very rough patch in our relationship, and as much as I feel guilty about it, I knew that he would never find out. and I needed to feel good about myself during our rough patch. I tried over and over and over to tell him I loved him and that I wanted to be with him, but he didn't believe it. He seemed to get more insecure as our time together went on. Our communication sucks. He constantly wants to talk about the relationship, and I just can't anymore. We don't get anywhere. He brings up the same things all the time, the text and a few other things. And I usually end up saying hurtful things to him to make him stop talking. He seems to dislike everything about me, and he's always mad at me. I've stopped hanging out with him as much because it's a miserable time for me when we do. I've stopped putting in much effort in the relationship. I know he loves me, and we've talked about marriage and buying a house together, but his behavior is so awful. The issue is that I no longer love my boyfriend, but I'm prolonging what I feel is an inevitable breakup for a few reasons. I like the comfort that a boyfriend brings. We sometimes get along, and when we do, it's great. I can have sex with him when I want. I don't have a lot of friends where I live, and he's my main source of weekday entertainment as far as dinners, movies, hanging out with other people, etc. I feel at my age the dating pool is dwindling, and it's going to be hard for me to find someone like him. He has a good job, a good education, comes from a nice family, is funny, good-looking, and despite his bullshit actions towards me, I know he has a good heart. Have other people done this? Stayed with someone they know it's never going to work out with because of reasons like the ones I stated? How did you end it? How long did you stay after you knew it wasn't going to work out? I sometimes feel guilty for staying with him, but there's a part of me that thinks if he would just stop acting the way he does, then our relationship would be okay, and my in-love feelings could grow for him again. Edit. I'm sorry that you all think I'm a horrible person. He never found out that I cheated on him, and I only did it once. And it wasn't even all the way sex. It was just sort of a lonely, we're here, no one will know kind of thing. I don't think I acted any differently towards him after I had my indiscretion. I still tried to be there for him and let him know how much I loved him and always tried to make him feel special. But he wouldn't accept it. He kept getting more and more frustrated and mad at me. He would think anything I did was an indication I was cheating or would cheat on him. I lied to him about the text message because he freaks out whenever I tell him things that seem kind of hard. I didn't want to lie, but I knew he couldn't handle me telling him the truth. I think that's the reason I haven't told him my feelings are dwindling. He's immature about it and can't handle it. We were having a fight the other day about the same things as always, and I told him, "You know we're gonna break up, right?" And he just started crying. I don't want to hurt him. That's another reason, probably the main reason I'm staying with him. This situation is hard, and I wish I hadn't kept my feelings bottled up for so long because it's been getting bad. I've been feeling less in love with him for a while, and his behavior keeps getting worse. But since I never really spoke up in the beginning about this, I feel like I'm going to drop a bomb on him. So I stay silent and try to endure his shitty behavior, hoping one day that he'll just get tired of acting like this. Maybe it would be doing him a favor to break up with him. But I loved him so much in the beginning of our relationship, I don't know how things got so bad, when all I've ever done is try to show him how much I love him. Edit 2. My boyfriend and I don't live together. Edit 3. Someone asked me if I told my boyfriend that I had cheated if he would stay with me. This was my response. I think he would stick around and try to work it out, but I don't know. He really loves me. He just doesn't seem to like me very much. He seems crazy and so mad almost all of the time. Nothing I do anymore makes a difference for him. He's so hard to deal with and so hard to talk to, and he ruins every day we spend together. I've asked to take breaks a few times, and after the breaks are over, he seems to be able to control himself, and he doesn't bring up past stuff. But no matter what I do, he always reverts back to accusing me of being a shitty person. Does any of this make a difference, and would any of this change your responses? He's been driving me away for so long. He's awful to me. There's always tension. I've always done something to upset him. I walk on eggshells around him. I never know if he's going to be yelling or pouting or in a bad mood. I constantly question myself, and he's broken my heart just as many times as you all claim that I've broken his. I'm so tired of being disappointed. Comments. It's hard to call your boyfriend insecure, needy, and controlling when you go and cheat on him. Odds are he knows or feels what's up and is being insecure, controlling, needy for a reason. The most humane thing you can do for him and you at this point is to rip off the band-aid. Break up with him. You know as well as I do that there's no chance of you having a successful relationship with him. You have nothing to gain with further delays. The situation won't get easier, just harder or worse yet. What if you get pregnant? What if he gets injured or ill and you feel obligated to stay because he needs you? Neither of you are happy. You both deserve to be, regardless of your past transgressions. Wipe the slate clean and move on. He'll thank you eventually.